Yo, what's up, dudes? It's your boy Scotty Smooth, and in this video, we're going to be talking about chaos levels, how to unlock them, what they mean, and just a lot more on the post-game content when it comes to Wonderlands, because I know some people are kind of confused by it. I know it's a little bit hard to get at first, so I want to make sure I get everything covered for you guys in this video, so let's jump right in. Before you're able to unlock any chaos levels, or really any of the chaos mode features and settings, you do have to complete the main story. You have to beat all 10 chapters of the main story, and then once you do complete the 10 chapters, then you will be able to unlock the endgame content, which is known as the Chaos Dungeon. It's pretty much going into a normal dungeon and just clearing out encounters. There are some side missions you could see, like destroy the Dragon Lord statue there to the right. You'll see some kind of random side missions that you could do throughout these, but ultimately you just want to clear out the rooms, and you will get these missions from the Dragon Lord once you do beat the game. And the first mode that you'll get is going to be the Chaos Trial, which you do have to beat the trial first before you can really jump in and adjust the settings, adjust the chaos dungeon levels, which will give you the chaos levels. Once you do complete that trial, then you do unlock the ability to pick which game mode you'd like with this chaos dungeon and how you'd like to go about that. Now, once you do complete that first mission that you get from the Dragon Lord, you could spawn back in, and then when you talk to him, you can see in the Chaos Chamber there are going to be multiple options you can select. So there's going to be the featured run option, the normal run, and then the extended run. But what you want to do is you want to do the Chaos Trial, because that's going to increase your Chaos levels. And what I mean by Chaos levels, you guys can kind of look at these as Mayhem levels from Borderlands 3, or you could look at them from OP levels in Borderlands 2. Pretty much the same concept, where you increase your Chaos level. The higher the level, the more difficult the enemies, but ultimately the better the loot, the higher chance of getting loot, the higher chance of getting coins, stuff like that. So of course some of you guys might look to play on the highest chaos level, which I'm trying to get to. It is maxed out at 20. It does cap out at 20 levels, so you guys can keep grinding these encounters until you get to 20, and it also carries on through your actual gameplay itself. So it's not like that only is going to increase here in these chaos trials or the chaos dungeon. It's going to increase even if you go and farm legendaries from particular bosses. And ultimately, like, that's what I really want to make sure that I'm getting the most out of, is when I do go and farm these bosses, the higher the chaos level, the higher chance of them dropping their loot. That's definitely a good reason to make sure that you get these chaos levels going and get them as high as you can. Of course, if you can't make it to 20, that's totally fine, but the higher the better, the higher the loot chance, because, you know, we're all here for the good old loot, baby. Once you do unlock that chaos mode or complete the first chaos mode trial, you will get a new menu that says chaos mode, and it just kind of gives you a breakdown of what chaos mode is. Of course, gives you higher loot, gives you tougher enemies, stuff like that. This is also going to be where you're going to want to adjust that chaos level. So you start, of course, with 1. It goes all the way up to 20. Just a couple tips on the dungeons themselves, because when you beat them, you guys are going to have multiple options on what you can actually do for the next round and pretty much throughout the rest of the dungeon. And it'll depend on which teleporter, which portal you select. It gives you different loot, different options there. And one of them is, you can see the Dragon Lord's going to appear, and what the Dragon Lord does pretty much gives you 2 options, either an easy route or a hard route to select, and you pretty much just have to pick one. Some are medium, some are easy, some are hard, and the harder the option, of course, the more difficult the enemies and the extra crystals you will get. If you do hold Q or whatever it is, it might be square, I don't know what it is on console, or X, whatever it may be, to make the encounter elite. And you do not have to do this by any means. Really, the only reason to do this is, of course, if you're trying to get better in-game loot throughout the chaos dungeons, or if you're trying to get more crystals, particular things like that, more money. That's when you can make the encounter elite, but you do not have to make it elite to pass the dungeon to increase your chaos level. You don't have to do that. Really, it's an investment. You can put 50 crystals into making the elite, and if you do come out and beat that part of the dungeon, then you will, of course, have a lot more and get a lot more loot from that dungeon that you just completed. And that part really depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to kind of breeze through these chaos levels, I wouldn't recommend throwing that on the elite mode, because you will come across elite enemies that are a lot more difficult to kill than just the typical enemies. But if you are trying to farm for random legendaries, I know we're kind of in the early stages, so we don't really know what the meta weapons are, who to farm, stuff like that. But if you're just looking for random loot, then and you're going through these like it's nothing, then yeah, go ahead, throw it on elite like I did here. But if you're just trying to breeze through, get to the chaos level 20 or get as high as you can, and then go farm for those particular legendaries, then you can just keep it off elite, just go in normal and kind of breeze through these. And also, as you guys are going through this, you will notice that it's going to drop crystals for you. So you can see on the right hand side, I have 319 crystals. You could use those crystals for power-ups, but I would recommend to save as many as you can. That way, by the end of the dungeon or the encounters, you have as many crystals as you can to purchase loot with these crystals. They do not roll over, so you can't save them for the next run. You have to use them all up there, so you might as well just use them all. And then, of course, at the end of every run, you will get some more crystals there, depending on which portal you choose. I always go for the chest option, so whatever you guys are feeling. If you want boosts from Butt Stallion or Ass Stallion, you could do that, but I always just pick the chests. Makes it easy and pretty simple. And you will also notice when you're on the last stage, it's going to look just like this. The portal will, it's going to be red, and that's going to pretty much be a boss that you're going to have to kill at the end of each dungeon or at each run. You will come across a boss, whether it's Zomboss, whether it's Dragon Lord. Really, it's just random, complete random there. There are a couple other bosses in there that you can come across when getting to that last step. And then once you finally kill the boss, you will see the gold portal there. It's going to just give you the statistics. I feel like these runs have taken me about 20 minutes a piece, so it's going to be a little bit of grinding to get to that level 20 chaos mode, but ultimately it's going to be worth it. So when we're farming legendaries for you dudes, we're going to be getting a lot higher drop chances, but you will get entered into the loot of chaos, and this is going to be where those crystals are going to come into play. So you will always get a pretty solid chest here, and you can get some good loot out of the chest. But there are also going to be some statues here, and what the statues do is they allow you to purchase and offer crystals for particular loot that you're looking for. So you can see in the right hand side, I have 981 crystals at the moment, and each one costs 500 crystals to maximize your loot drop chance. You can put 200 in here, you can put 100 crystals in here, but if you hold it like I'm going to do here and put all 500, then your loot chance is going to increase. It's going to throw a lot more loot out. If you just tap it or hit or hold it just for a little bit, it's not going to use all 500 coins or 500 crystals right away. It's going to use however much you put in, and then it's going to give you that amount. So you can see I have 481 crystals. I hold the E button or whatever button it was, and it didn't spit out as many purples as the last one did, or blues. And you could also tap and hold it for like 50, 100, and it might drop out one weapon or so. So you do not have to put all 500 in each time into each loot option there, but of course the higher you put, the more you put in there, then the better loot you're gonna get. But anyway guys, I appreciate you for stopping by. Of course, I hope this helps you out. If you have any questions on this, let me know in the comments below, but if it does help you out, be sure to hit the thumbs up, sub to the channel for some more Wonderlands content, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.